You know what that thing means, don't you?
It means we're live.
That means we're live with WWE Raw Talks Live right here on youtube.com/616entertainment. I got to spread the link around a little bit, so that means it's time for you to vamp a little bit. Because for the Dan Dance who don't know, the uninitiated Dan Dance.
Let me see. You're
go ahead.
You're taking up all.
Go ahead.
Stuff
Don't waste time. Go ahead.
I'm not wasting time. I'm supposed to.
You're still going on it though.
This is what you want me to do. You want me to talk, and then I start to talk, and you say, "Don't talk."
I was setting you up, and you were like, "Don't set me up," and I said, "Okay, well, let's not talk about the setup." Well, you're trying to set. Just go ahead,
because you keep everything I say. You interrupt. Now I'm all.
Go ahead. We're ready to go.
What we do here on this show, we got Raw Talks Live. We do a recap. Full recap of Raw, so if you missed it, you can watch this and find out what happened. So you don't have to rewatch a whole 3-hour show. We also just tell you our thoughts about what we thought about the thoughts of thinking. You know what I mean? We tell you what we think about the show. If it was a good show, we break it down segment by segment. That was you posted. I got a note. So we got a great show ahead of us for you, the Dan Dance. What?
Keep going.
I know. I'm really thirsty.
Can you just talk for a second?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
When we get the show going, I will go grab you a drink.
No, that's fine. I can do without it. I should spit my gum out.
You should. See, I got my gum and I'm prepared with a drink right there.
I'm going to throw it. Do you think I can make it into this garbage can?
If you miss it, I'm going to require you to pick it up.
No, I'll get it after.
Think
I can do it, though?
It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
I win thousands of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Steve Schneider, a.k.a. Folkland, has a baby snapping turtle that he's trying to get rid of.
Why are you trying to get rid of it?
He's got too many animals in his house. You know what I'm saying?
Just flush it.
No, how dare you?
He'll survive. He's a fucking turtle.
Down in the sewer grody-ness? I don't think so.
They can breathe underwater.
Breathe Underwater is a great song from Placebo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I never heard it.
You just said the other day that you want to start listening to some more Placebo.
I want to check it out.
You should. That's a good idea. Because Placebo is big-time stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we can't start talking about Monday Night Raw until we get the official intro for the show here.
I thought you usually do that earlier.
No, I try to have you vamp first because this happens right before we talk about Raw.
I always thought that was
Mike, make sure everyone has brown gloves. Does everyone have brown gloves? Oh, dude.
That hasn't been the first thing in weeks and weeks. Probably 2 months now. It's been a big section in between. Full disclosure, Dan Dans, right off the bat, my opinion was tonight's Raw sucked. I'm going to go pick up Mortal Kombat X at 11 p.m. So my strategy right now is to sprint through this fucking show. We're going to wrap up Raw real quick. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to go get Mortal Kombat.
There's a handful of matches that we're going to spend time on. I think there's a whole lot of shit that we can just blow over.
Yeah,
because that meant nothing.
I agree.
I thought I wouldn't say it sucked. There was a lot of bullshit, but there was some good segments.
I thought it sucked, but that's fine.
There was some.
I think you can have good segments and still have a bad show.
Well, when it's a 3 hours, yeah, because if you have good shit and then you have all this bullshit, it waters it down. The percentage of good stuff.
Yeah, big time. Where do we start?
Watered down. John Cena's in the ring. He's having an open challenge for
as he's been doing for the past month.
Open challenge for the U.S. title. And the first thing I said right off the bat is, when was the last time there was a U.S. title match in the main opening segment?
Yeah, that's big.
And a match. Obviously, there was. He started off talking
barely,
but it wasn't long. Normally the opening segments are fucking 20 minutes of the Authority just talking and talking and talking. He came out and said, "I want a match. Somebody come out here." Bad News Barrett came out and they wrestled.
I like the John Cena open challenge thing.
Me too.
Because every week when Cena comes out, I'm going, okay, who's going to answer the challenge this week? And we've had 3 of them now: Jeans, Stardust, and now
Bad News Barrett.
Bad News Barrett, yeah. Twisted Unicorn 1 just joined us in the chat, and he says it sucked. It definitely sucked. I agree with you. And I'm not a hater. I'm not a wrestling fan hater who complains about the show every week. This is the worst Raw I've seen in a long time. Like, I've been pretty happy with the Raws that have been coming out, but this one, it was a couple steps below where we've been in recent weeks. So I like that Barrett. Didn't like is he's not being a heel at all.
Barrett.
And I know he's in his hometown, but he's a fucking heel. And when Punk would come to Chicago and he would get cheered when he was a heel, or any good heel, not just Punk, he'd be like, and everybody here is cheering for me in Chicago, which just makes you just as big a lowlife as anybody. Like, you put down the hometown crowd because you're supposed to be a goddamn bad guy.
Right.
Steve Schneider says it's got to be leading to a debut. Like an NXT guy coming out to answer Cena. Shayla Galenza says, Twisted Unicorn 1, are you on drugs? Shayla, I was not a fan of this week's show. There was good segments, don't get me wrong. Cena versus Barrett was one of the better segments on the show. But this whole this show as a whole, I was not a big fan of at all.
It's fair. I mean, that's your opinion.
John Cena, both of his eyes are blackened up, so which tells me someone probably punched him in the nose pretty good. Or on an untelevised match or whatever. He broke his nose or something. Cena, he's getting beat up all the time.
Yeah. He's getting old.
He is. I don't even know if he's getting old, but he's probably just wrestling new guys on the road and they're like working each other pretty good. Yeah. So, one of the things that bothered me about this match was Barrett and Cena are going at it, and it's a really good match. But before everyone goes into this is awesome chant, one of the chants was "You can't wrestle" at John Cena, which is about 10 fucking years too late. Can we stop with the "You can't wrestle" chant, please? If you're in the crowd and you're chanting "You can't wrestle" at any of the guys who are in that ring, you're a moron. And please stop doing that.
Yeah.
Also, please stop saying "what" after every syllable in a promo. It's got to go away. Tell me what you thought.
One thing I wrote down about this, this is more of a comment about all three of the last matches that he's had for the U.S. title, is that he's wrestling these mid-card guys, and they're, like, holding their own against him. Like, he's winning cleanly, which he should, but, like, they're getting in offense,
Yeah, big time.
Barrett, like, I think Barrett and Ambrose both kicked out of an AA.
I don't know if Dean did, but
no, I
Wade,
definitely remember him.
Okay,
definitely remember him kicking out of.
Yeah,
kicking out of.
Just even if they don't kick out of the finisher, just being in there with Cena already makes you look really good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You don't have to be in there and stay alive the whole time for it to not make you look weak. You know what I mean?
Right. But like, I'm
carry the show for a minute. I got to go find out what that was about.
I'm just saying. My point is, like, he's not going out and squashing them. Like, it makes them look. I think they're looking strong because they can hold their own against them. And I think the other thing I think. Hold on. Never mind. I was gonna. Never mind. They started at "This is awesome" chant, which I thought was really, how many times do we hear a "This is awesome" chant for a John Cena match? People, I just love how they're handling what they're doing with John Cena and the U.S. title. I think they're handling it great. This is kind of weird for me, Dan Dans. I've never held a show by myself, but I think I'm doing pretty good. Tell me what you think. Cena wins, and then Lana comes back, who we haven't seen in weeks. I was very happy to see her. I don't know how you felt. How did you feel about seeing Lana come back finally?
I thought it was a good thing. She never should have gone away. I understand why they did it, because she had to go make a movie. But
what movie should?
I don't know. Because I didn't read about it.
Is she gonna be naked?
Hopefully. She's got plenty of nakeds on the
internet. Yeah, but she's not going to be naked.
But apparently what that was about is when we wrap up this show, you might have to hang out for a couple minutes because there's like 13 state troopers down the street, like have a whole section of the road blocked off. So something gnarly happened over there. We don't have time to find out what that is right now, but
we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, we'll keep the Dan Ants posted about that.
You were
just wrapping this up.
Yeah, so Lana came out and then Rusev came, like, sucker punched him. And then they announced they're going to have a Russian chain match.
Yeah.
At Extreme Rules. which I don't know what that is.
I don't think anybody knows what that is.
But I'm excited.
Twisted Unicorn 1
Chains.
says the U.S. title matches have been the best matches on Raw, which I would agree with until we get a little further into this show, so stay tuned. Shayla Galenza says, where the hell was Daniel Bryan? He had that little segment with Kane where he was just like, oh, if you have any self-respect. That was all we got out of Bryan
But
tonight.
it's weird because we didn't see him at all last week, and that's all we got out of him this week.
And before we move on from this match, I want to say there was a part where Bad News Barrett set up for a tornado DDT, and he did the spin around, landed on his feet, and turned into a snap suplex, which is a move I've never seen before. I really liked it. I hope he keeps it in his moveset. So, yeah, you were covering. Lana comes out. Rusev blindsides him. Russian chain match at Extreme Rules.
What the hell is that?
I don't know what the hell that is. But what I wrote down here was match of the night. It was the first match of the night, but I was already like, yo, this was really good. Cena and Barrett tore it down.
Tore it down. Tore the shit down.
Steve Schneider, a.k.a. Folkland, says, Ian/Mike Artist, are Yins going to Extreme Rules? I've been saying to you, are we going to Extreme Rules for probably 3 months now. Are we going?
Do you want me to buy the tickets right now?
Yes.
All right.
So we'll go.
Yeah, it's just like you saying, do you want to go?
Well, because what always becomes the problem is when we make plans to go do something and we have friends who are also interested, it's like we should talk to Daniel and see if he wants to go. We should talk to Matt Nix and Chris Castro and see if they want to go.
I know.
We should talk to Andy Danny Jarrett, see if they want to go. We should talk to No Tag. The problem is we have too many friends.
I know.
And it's hard to make plans because you don't want to exclude anyone. And if Steve Schneider was in town, Steve would be going with us to Extreme Rules.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know for a fact Daniel is interested in going. So, hold off on buying the tickets for now. As soon as we finish this show, I'll talk to him.
He'll be in town.
Steve says he'll be in town. So, we'll talk about Extreme Rules after this show. I really would like to attend.
Me too.
What was the rest?
We got a Russian chain match.
What was the sign that I came up with?
What sign?
Oh, I said if I went to a wrestling show and I brought a sign, which I haven't brought a sign in years, I would bring a sign that just said, Ranch Me, Brotendo.
Oh, yeah.
From there, we move on to the Divas Battle Royal. And the first thing I want to say about this match is the main problem I had was they were pitting the Bellas against each other on commentary because they were with each other. And Booker is like, you ever think you'll face each other for the Divas title? And Brie is just like, no. And Nikki is just like, oh, we would and I would win. And Brie is like, oh, wow. And then later on, they were like, would you sisters ever fight? And Brie was just like, no, we're good sisters. And Brie was like, and Nikki goes, she doesn't want to mess with me. She knows I'll beat her up. And it's like, why are they just making one look extremely weak against the other? They are not on the same page at all.
No.
Two bad guys, even if they hate each other, should come together for the time being just for the sake of lying and looking like bad guys.
Right.
It just kind of made me feel bad for Brie.
Well, the fact that, like, Nikki is totally shit-talking.
Yeah.
And Brie is just taking it and not giving anything back. It just doesn't look right.
Steve Schneider is freaking out in the chat about him not coming to Extreme Rules with us, but I'll call you when this is over or I'll text you, you know what I'm saying? I was extremely sure that Naomi was going to win this, and they went with Paige instead.
Yeah.
And then for no fucking reason, Naomi turns heel on Paige and beats her up. Shayla Galenza says the only good thing in the Divas match was Paige entrance. Yeah.
Paige in general.
Paige in general, but Paige's entrance, seeing her come out, like that super realistic smile on her, not realistic, but like 100% natural smile on her face from being in her home country was very cool. I was very happy about that.
Well, and I said something about after she won and she had that, she was on the mic and she was talking about like everything she's been through to get to that moment. That was like a really feel good moment.
Yeah,
I liked that because it was, you could tell it was sincere. It wasn't just like, bullshit wrestling mic talk. But then fucking Naomi ruined it all.
Steve says, I'm starting to like Paige. You should. You should have been liking Paige a long time ago because Paige was the shit.
Yeah, she's the best.
You know what I'm saying? I wrote down Paige mic time plus. I like that. I like that she got a little bit of time to talk there.
And I like what she said. It was happy.
Yeah. And then later on, let's just cover it now because I didn't even write it down. But Naomi is backstage later in the show. And she's just talking about, she basically explains why she turned heel for no reason. Turns out it's not for no reason. She was on the same season of Diva Search or whatever, NXT as AJ was. AJ got a million chances. A million other girls got chances. Naomi never got her chance. She's tired of waiting. Now she's going to take her chance, Which is fine, I guess.
Fine.
You know what? I did write it down. I had problems with her grammar. she said to Byron, "Are you an idiot?"
Well,
It wasn't Byron. It was someone else.
no, it was Byron.
Was it Byron?
Yeah.
Okay. She said, "Are you an idiot?" It's "Are you an idiot?" I fucking hate when people do that.
Mhm.
The other thing she said was, "I could care less." You
Oh.
couldn't care less. Because if you could care less, it's not that big of a deal to you.
Yeah.
Or it is a big deal to you because you could care even less. Mike Obersit, a.k.a.
Whoa!
Diddy, is in the
What?
chat. I tell you
What?
what's 100% natural. That booty.
Damn right.
I think he's on right there.
God damn right.
Uh,
My problem with her turning heel, my only problem is
Mhm.
what other faces are on the Divas roster?
We got Paige. We got... Yeah, we got...
They're all heels.
Well, I guess Rosa...
They don't. She's not anything. She's not anything.
Rosa?
Yeah. What
She's
the fuck is she?
fired from Fandango. she doesn't get to dance anymore. She's not a good dancer anyway.
We
but
haven't
neither is
seen her in
Fandango.
6 months.
No, we have. Every time they need a diva jobber battle royal, she's always out there. And I just want to say I feel really bad for Rosa because she's got the worst gear of the divas. Her
Yeah.
gear is just fucking ugly and it's terrible.
Mhm.
But the other thing I wrote down about Naomi was I thought she was actually pretty goddamn good on the mic. What she was saying,
She
I
did.
believed it.
Yeah.
She's better on the mic than Daniel Bryan is. And I know there's a lot of people who freak out about that.
Mhm.
But when Daniel Bryan was talking to Kane and he was just like, "Kane, I don't believe you." And he's so fucking bad sometimes. But it's okay.
Yeah, he's not the best.
He makes up for it in the ring. Where do we go from here?
The Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension.
Mm-mm. This was quick. We don't have to
Really
spend any
quick.
time on it because they didn't.
The Lucha Dragons won.
They look good doing it.
Look good. They were flashy.
I like the Ascension on TV.
Uh-huh.
Even if they're losing
Even-
quick, I'm glad they're being used.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Roman comes out
Yes.
and he's talking to, was it Michael Cole or Booker?
I think it was
Booker.
Booker. Booker was in the
And
ring.
Roman's like, maybe I would have beat Brock Lesnar. We'll never know. Props to Seth Rollins, even if he's a dick.
Yeah.
And then Big Dad comes out. Big Show.
Big Show Dad. Big
And
Dad
he
Show.
beats up Roman Boy.
He smashes him over a car like the man he is.
Mm-hmm. Twisted Unicorn one says the personalities of divas seem to range from crazy to bitch to crazy bitch,
Yeah.
which is pretty accurate. But I think I've heard that somewhere before. So if you stole that, credit someone.
You cocksucker.
Shayla Galenza says that was really rude. Shayla Galenza, Emma Summer Rae, their faces because she's with Ms. Dow now,
Yeah.
which I guess is true, but that just happened last week. So forgive us for forgetting.
No, and they have a point, but it's just like they're just not involved. You know, maybe if they get those divas more involved now, it'll even itself out.
Which I hope they do get involved.
Yeah,
And
I
we
know, I
need
do too. We
Some of
need-
these great NXT divas to come out.
Definitely.
So Big Show murders Roman on a car.
hmm
Moving on.
So, well, the other thing is, this is probably going to lead to Roman versus Show at Extreme Rules, which is fucking terrible. Nobody wants to see that.
No dads even want that.
Oh my god.
Josh Spears says Fandango, y'all. Which we're getting there, you know what I'm saying? We got what does it say? Randy versus
Orton
Cesaro
versus
and
Cesaro.
Ken. Randy looks strong. He
Uh-huh.
goes out, he beats the tag team champions all by himself.
2-on-1.
I like the cool finish with Tyson coming off the rope, eating the RKO.
Yep.
This was not a long match either.
No.
And being that I want to go get
He
Mortal
got-
Kombat,
yeah.
we need to rush through this.
He won by the DQ because Kid, so he had to fight like 2 matches,
Mhm.
but he still won, and good for him.
He did. So that means that later tonight, Randy gets the chance to choose the stipulation.
Well,
Maybe Seth will win too, and then we'll see what happens.
okay, because that's one thing I was not clear of.
Yeah.
So, which if they both won, they both got to pick a stipulation.
Twisted Unicorn one says Reigns seemed to do a lot better on the mic this time. He's doing pretty good every time he goes out there. In
I
my
think he's been doing really good. Like since the Rumble,
Mhm.
I think he's been pretty good.
Since the Rumble, he has definitely improved, and like he's getting better at going on the fly.
Yeah.
Like the fans started chanting Suplex City,
Mhm.
and he acknowledged it rather than just pushing it under the rug.
Right.
And he was just like, "Yeah, I went there. I went to Suplex City, and I woke up the next day,"
Mhm.
which was bad. He shouldn't have said that. He should have been like, "I went to Suplex City, and like I stayed the night in a hotel, and I left looking good the next day."
Yeah.
You know, he kind of just said like, "I went to the bad neighborhood, and they beat me up."
Yeah.
It was like you didn't make yourself sound awesome at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, this handicap match, it did what it was supposed to do. Nothing special here.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the theme of this whole Raw. There was not a lot of special stuff going on.
Speaking of Ambrose versus
Adam Rose. Why?
I don't know. Dean Ambrose won.
Dean Ambrose, yeah.
What the fuck?
Adam Rose, we haven't seen on Raw in a long time.
No.
He loses to Jeans Ambrose for no reason. This meant nothing at all. This was a space filler because Dean was used later for his angle with Harper.
Right.
In a match that meant nothing. That was a rematch from last week.
Yeah.
But so we'll just go. We're gonna keep going in order.
Stardust versus Fandango
for no reason.
Yeah.
Like why? It's two heels going against each other. They have no. There's no reason why these guys should be angry with each other. There's no reason. I just don't get why this happened at all. I wrote down maybe some of the guys didn't want to make the flight over.
Yeah.
So guys like Fandango and Adam Rose are getting put on Raw because other guys are just like, I'm taking the night off tonight. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Fandango
did a dance. He fired his woman.
He fired Rosa. He used his old theme music, which apparently immediately made him turn face.
Everyone loved it.
They did.
They ate that shit up.
I will bet you $5 right now. Fandango is not on Raw next week.
See, that's what I was gonna say. It seemed like maybe this match was to get him to turn him face and have him more involved, but they're not gonna.
They're not gonna do anything with him.
They're not gonna do anything with him.
Josh Spears says Fandango. It's his time to shine, y'all. I like Fandango a lot. I think he's really
entertaining. The crowd does.
I think he's really funny. The crowd likes his dance. They don't like Fandango.
True, but
I think they should send him to
got
NXT.
something they like.
Because he's not the best. He could use some work. And there's a lot of guys down there that he could wrestle and have good matches with.
I think that's a good idea.
But there's so many people who are going to see him going to NXT as a step down.
Yeah.
Josh Spears says, kick that bitch to the curb. It's his time to shine. Ian, shut up. Hey, man, I'm just telling it like it is. I know you got that blind Fandango love, which is fine. But, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Steve, a.k.a. Folkland, says, glad I'd hear the old theme back. He's over with it. I think the theme is over. I don't think Fandango is over at all. Because when he didn't have that song, no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
They bring the song back and people are like, oh, yeah, this guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, there's a lot that can be done with him, and they're not doing any of it. Yeah. I would like to see them do some of it. Rollins versus Ziggler. But my first point was, or Kane.
Yeah.
Because it was not Rollins versus Ziggler.
Yeah, why did you write that down?
Because it was booked as Rollins versus Ziggler.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, they said that right in the beginning.
Oh.
And they changed it because Seth was like, I need to face someone who's best for business and will lay down.
Yeah.
And
who will bend the knee.
Yeah.
It's a Game of Thrones reference.
I wrote down, what the fuck is this? Because I don't really understand what's happening here. I mean, I get that Kane is tired of being a lackey for Seth because Kane sees it as, I'm much bigger than he is. I could crush him like a pipsqueak. Why do I have to listen to this jabroni? Why do they think this guy is best for business? Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But Rollins has the world title, and he's got a thing going on with Randy.
Mm-hmm.
But Rollins also has a thing going on with Kane, and Kane doesn't have anything else going on with anybody. So Extreme Rules, we're still going to get Rollins versus Randy, and that leaves Kane where? Because for all intents and purposes, Rollins will win at Extreme Rules.
Well, of course. He's not going to let him drop the belt.
But then, is that where Kane goes full face?
I don't know.
And then he's got a thing with Kane, and we're planting the seeds for that right now? I don't understand where we're going with this.
I don't get what they're doing with Kane.
That's
obviously it obviously seems like they're leading to a face turn with him.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
So my second point other than or Kane is just, what the fuck is this? As a quick rundown for any Danans who missed Raw, Seth Rollins convinced Kane that he should face off with Kane so Kane can lay down rather than Seth risk losing to Ziggler. Yeah. And then Randy gets to choose the stipulation. So Kane's like, okay, I'll do it. And even through encouragement from Daniel Bryan earlier, he was still, Daniel Bryan was like, you should just go out there and fuck him up, basically. Because you can. Don't be a bitch boy. Be a man dad.
Mm-hmm.
So Kane is a bit of a man dad because he chokeslams Rollins, but then he lays down and becomes bitch boy and gets pinned.
Oh.
Miz versus Mizdow.
I don't know.
I wrote down again.
It's just like people. I was not fully invested in it, but when they had their feud going on and it was like, oh, he's gonna turn, it was kind of interesting. And then as soon as it happened, me and everyone else just stopped giving a shit. It's watching their matches isn't entertaining.
No.
And so it was all build up and then there was just no payoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they're trying to keep this going, but there's no momentum behind it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on that would keep anyone invested here.
So
they did add the new element with Summer Rae backing Sandow.
Right.
Which I like. I like that we're going to see more of Summer because I think she's a good personality. And I like that Mizdow has another thing that makes him seem like a #1 cool guy.
What do you think they should do with Mizdow? I
think he should be Damian goddamn Sandow.
No, I do too.
I think they should do something where maybe Miz is like I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to sue you for using my name and using my moveset. And Sandow could just be like, don't bother. You can have it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be you. I'm better than you. I've been better than you this whole time. Like,
yeah.
You know, I've just been doing this to get under your skin. That's why I keep using the Mizdow name. And then what should happen is Sandow gets better music. He gets a better look. Stops coloring in his hairline.
He's not going to stop doing that.
Let's check out the chat here. Shayla Galenza says, and I hope I'm saying your name right. I feel like I am. We've seen Neville versus Ziggler, which is better because we have seen Ziggler versus Rollins lots. I agree with you. We're going to get to Ziggler versus Neville. Josh Beers, his head is going to fall out of that glass box in the office, and he's going to put it back on and demolish Rollins into a puddle of puke. He's talking about Kane.
Yeah.
Twisted Unicorn 1, when are they going to give Damian a new gimmick? Hopefully soon. Josh Spears, imagine if in 10 years he's still Damian Mizdow, even if Miz is gone. That would actually be kind of funny, but I don't want to see that happen.
If they committed that far, it would it would suck for a while, but eventually it would be like, this is fucking hilarious.
I just got a text from Giuseppe that says he just finished watching Daredevil, which means he's not watching WWE Raw Talks Live right now.
What an ass.
Dan, let Giuseppe know what he's missing by liking, click that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Because we do this every week. We do this for pay-per-views as well. You don't want to miss the podcast or the Let's Plays. We got a lot going on here.
Don't miss any of it, guys.
Giuseppe's missing it, and he's really going to regret it. But Daredevil's really good, and you should watch that, too.
I only watched the first episode, but I can't wait to watch more, guys. Let's go.
I watched 6 in a row last night. That's how good that shit is. Because I don't watch TV at all. But I saw that shit, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And then 6 hours later, I was like, I can't watch no more of this.
All right, what's next?
We got Naomi backstage, but we covered her already. Okay. The primetime players are cutting a promo backstage, which was obviously filmed on the same night that the other one from last week.
Yeah.
What I want to know is who the fuck cleared this? Who let this play on Raw? They had no background at all. It was just 2 guys on a digital black background with nothing at all. No design behind them or anything.
Yeah.
Which just looked empty. And then for Darren to say, rainbow is my favorite color. For the Danans who don't know, Darren Young?
I think so.
Darren Young. Right? What the fuck is his name?
I always forget.
Darren, the other PTP,
I think it is Darren,
the other primetime player. He's gay in real life. Mm-hmm. And for him to say rainbow is my favorite color, I don't know if that was written into the script as kind of like a joke jab at him, or if it was written into the script, but it was his idea as like an inside joke for people who are in the know.
I think he would have done that.
Either way, I think it's funny.
I thought this was a really funny promo. I liked both of their promos.
Yeah.
The production is kind of weird, but just as far as what they were doing, I'm a fan of it. Like actually tearing apart. Like there's never any like shit talk between any fucking tag teams. Like personally, there's never any besides that dinner that the Usos and
he was being ignorant.
Yeah, they had a dinner that went south one time.
Yeah.
So other than that,
Shayla Galenza says I was saying the name right, but this is his sister's account. He's a dude.
And I'm glad because I started to say she, and I'm like, who knows? So then I said they. I switched to they when I noticed it.
Steve wants to know if Shayla Galenza, the actual person, is hot. And Shayla's brother says, screw off, kid. Josh Spears says, my dad lost his shit when Darren said his favorite color was rainbow. It was fantastic.
Nice.
And Steve says that rainbow is not a color.
It's
rainbow looks fucking awesome, but it is not one decided color.
And that bear was not rainbow. It was tie-dye.
It was tie-dye. Well, tie-dye is basically just using every color of the rainbow.
But it's blurred. Rainbow is stripes.
It's not stripes. It's arches.
But if you have like a rainbow flag isn't arches, but that's a rainbow because
those are stripes.
It's the orders cut in the order.
Roy G. Biv.
If you have a striped shirt, that's the order of the rainbow. That's a rainbow shirt. But if it's all blended together, that's a tie.
Ryback versus Luke Harper was up next, and the first thing I wrote down was again because this is a rematch from last week as well.
Was it? I don't remember.
Yes, I went back in my notes and I checked it out. I wrote down why, and then we found out why it was just to further Dean versus Luke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the only reason this happened. That's why it didn't go long at all. I would like to give major props to Ryback and Luke because Luke threw a killer super kick.
Mm-hmm.
Ryback ate that shit on the chin and sold it like he got sniped from up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Big time.
Straight knockout kick.
I was a big fan of that. But I don't like this booking for Luke Harper at all.
Why not?
I think he's fucking crazy and he likes to fight. And if there's a guy who wants to keep fighting him, he'll keep fucking him up.
Yeah.
So Dean comes out and he wants to fight Harper. And Harper hightails it. He gets away, just like any other cheese dickish heel would.
I know. Not every heel has to be a pussy
Shayla
and
says,
like run away.
Shayla, what the fuck is your name? Because Shayla's your sister. I wanted to actually address you. Do you guys buy wrestling tees? Just wondering where's the best place to buy them. I actually bought a really cool Sting shirt the other day at Hot Topic of all places.
Yeah.
They had a Sting shirt. It's the one that has like his paint on the front of it. They had a Roman Reigns shirt. They had the purple Macho Man shirt. They had the yellow Hulkamania shirt. They had an NWO shirt. They had a Daniel Bryan shirt. And there might have been one more. That was a very good selection. So I got that. I got this Mortal Kombat shirt right here, which features Sub-Zero ripping off head of Liu Kang.
I like that.
Mortal Kombat comes out in 20 minutes, so we're going to have to wrap this shit up soon. But yeah, go to Hot Topic. They have a really good selection. Josh Beer says that I like Dean is dressed the exact same as that crazy cult hillbilly. Shayla's name is Christian, so let's try to remember.
All right,
that.
well, I'll remember.
Twisted Unicorn says Ryback looks like he's been working on his selling. I think Ryback's been pretty good at selling for a while now, but I definitely see where you're coming from.
Well, that was an excellent sell he had in that match. Ziggler versus Adrian Neville or Neville.
I didn't know what was going to happen here, but what I thought was Ziggler comes out and he's going to be like, Kane, you fucked up my thing, you know? Because I was supposed to face Rollins earlier and I would have beat him.
Oh.
So when Ziggler was like, I want to pull a John Cena and open an
open challenge.
Issue an open challenge. I was going to say open an issue challenge. I want to issue an open challenge. And I was like, motherfucker. Here's where they write Sheamus into the show. We get Ziggler versus Sheamus. Sheamus obviously wins because they're pushing him as a monster.
Well, and they're not going to go a week without seeing him.
And I was so upset because fuck Sheamus. The guy bores me to tears. But fucking Neville comes out, and we were both like, yo, this is going to be some shit. You know what I'm saying? I was very happy about this. The first thing I wrote down was I was so sure it was Sheamus.
Yeah, I was really, really surprised to see Adrian Neville.
Let's talk about the 450 off the guardrail on the outside. That was fucking awesome. And for the Danans who may have missed it, this may get us a copyright strike here, but, you know, whatever. I actually recorded it off my TV. I'm going to have sound because I want to show my dad who may have missed it. Check this shit out.
Watch Adrian Neville. It's unreal. What's so impressive about that? He's only about 4 feet high.
That was fucking sweet. You know what else was sweet? An alternate angle. Whoa, that was fucking sweet. Shayla says that 450 was sick. Twisted Unicorn says, I was hoping for some sort of dry here. And Steve says, how much does that guy weigh? Which is a reference to many years ago, a King of the Ring. Just Google it. You'll see. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
He also had that sick top rope moonsault.
He did have that sweet moonsault to the outside.
He's so cool.
Twisted Unicorn 1 says he was hoping for some sort of draw here. I was not. I wanted Dolph to win because Dolph should fucking win.
Yeah.
Adrian Neville, or just Neville because he lost his first name, just came up, and what we've seen from his first couple matches is he's awesome.
Yeah.
So he faces a guy like Ziggler, basically beats the shit out of Ziggler the entire match. He's controlling him because Ziggler's probably just like, whoa, this kid is fast.
I wasn't prepared for this.
I thought I was fast. I was not prepared for this sort of anarchy. But I like that Ziggler won, and I tweeted out, this is how you raise your stock with a loss.
Yes.
Like, he looked so good. He lost, but that's not what we take away from this.
And it's the same last week.
Yeah.
He faced the WWE champion.
Yes.
And lost. And looked good doing it.
Steve wants me to bring up, he texted me earlier, they don't announce Neville's weight because weight is an item's heaviness based on gravity. Since Neville is the man gravity forgot, he doesn't have any weight.
Oh.
And I said, say that in the chat today. He says, okay. Oh man. So yeah, that was good. But this is where my opinion changed. This was the match of the night. It was not
Yes.
Cena versus
I
Barrett.
again, like honestly, I think somebody in the chat last week said Stardust versus Cena was the match of the night, and I agreed. But then later on, I was like, no, I think the match of the night was Rollins versus Neville.
It definitely could have been
last week. So, in my opinion, Adrian Neville had the match of the nights the last 2 weeks, which is pretty impressive.
It's because he's really good.
A young new upcoming bull.
The last takeaway I had from this match was after the match. It's not even a big deal at all. It's just fuck Sheamus. Like I don't like Sheamus. Like he just doesn't do it for me. We talked about this last week, but I could have done without this at the end. I know what they're trying to do, and like I like that Dolph fought back a little bit, but
yeah, he didn't just get raped, you know.
No,
he beat him up for a little bit, but then Sheamus got the upper hand.
Where do we go from here?
The main event, which was just a discussion.
So technically, Ziggler versus Neville was the main event.
Yeah,
which is fucking
really
sweet,
cool. Yeah, because this was more like the
Wolfpack me baby
epilogue.
Oh shit! Freelancewrestling.com.
It was the announcement of the stipulations from both Seth Rollins and Randy Orton.
Was that an accident?
No, but I just came up with it.
Twisted Unicorn 1 says that zigzag was beautiful, and you're goddamn right, sir. If you have not clicked like and subscribe yet, now's the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Josh Beer says that beard braids don't send a shot of intimidation into your soul. Ian.
You think I should do that?
Yeah, but you never grow your beard long enough to do it.
I could.
You should.
There's an
You should have the Eric Rowan beard.
Oh no, that's not.
Speaking of, where the fuck is Eric Rowan?
Yeah, he's been MIA for a while.
Maybe he's in a pine box. You know what I'm referencing there?
A dead person in a
yeah, but it was a specific promo.
Bray Wyatt? Undertaker?
No, it's okay. Steve says, my pubes look like Sheamus's beard.
Whoa!
Josh says, yeah, pube braids? This is getting out of control with Randy Orton. Orton. So in the main event, we got Seth sitting in a fucking recliner in the middle of the ring.
Looks comfy.
With J&J on either side.
I like that chair.
It was a pretty good looking chair.
J&J had some good chairs too.
They certainly did.
They were a little smaller. They didn't recline or kick up, but you know. You're just security guys. You don't get the special chairs.
So Randy comes out and he was just like, looks like you got a special chair. And then Seth was like, my stipulation is you are not allowed to use your secret weapon, which is the RKO. Which is funny because in 2005, after WrestleMania, where Batista beat Triple H, they booked a rematch. I don't know if I talked about this on here, but the rematch at Backlash was all about the pedigree. The whole storyline was built on the pedigree. Yeah. And Triple H saying, the only reason you won a WrestleMania is because I never landed the pedigree. The pedigree always puts guys away. And if I hit you with it just one time, it only takes 1 second, that belt's coming back home. The whole thing was built around one guy's finishing move.
That's cool.
Which was kind of cool.
I think you did talk about that. And I like this idea of like, because the RKO does kind of have that mystique around it.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, oh shit, it's the RKO. Like everyone loves the RKO.
One of the shirts at Hot Topic, I think it just said out of nowhere. Which is a reference to the viral videos of the RKO.
Oh, I just while we were watching this, I saw a GIF on Reddit. It said out of nowhere RKO, and it was this GIF from like the fucking I don't even know who that was. It was like the 1940s. It was black and white of some like old school like wrestlers that walked around like this.
The one wrestlers looked like your dad,
and one guy fucking pulls an RKO.
He was going for a jumping snapmare. But it
looked
work.
like an RKO though. It was
Josh says, you can't use the RKO, your greatest weapon. And Randy's like, bitch, you forget that punk that kills everyone. Oh, punt. And then it said punk. I was like, who's the punk? CM Punk? He's not gonna be around.
Whoa.
So yeah, and then Randy is just like, that's fine that I can't use the RKO because you can't use Jabroni and Jabroni's security.
And the other Jabroni dad.
Because we're gonna be in a still cage. So that is big business.
Big business. Biggest of the biz.
Shayla says, I'm searching on Hot Topic while listening to you right now. Yeah, Christian, sorry. Twisted Unicorn 1 says, watch him just use a diamond cutter. Which is fantastic. I love that. It's like, Brand, you can't use RKO. It's not. It was a diamond cutter. Yeah. Diamond cutter is the same thing. It was an ace crusher. You can't just go from an attitude adjustment to an RKO. That's called a TKO. It's not an RKO at this point. There's so many ways he could possibly get out of that.
That's funny.
But there's only one way to get out of the steel cage. That's to go up over the top. You know what I'm saying? Dan Ans, we got to wrap this shit up early. We've only gone 40 minutes here, but that's fine. I got to go pick up Mortal Kombat X. They're releasing it an hour early for fuck knows why. If I didn't have shit to do tonight, I wouldn't be upset about it. I'd be more stoked about it. You know what I'm saying? But please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We do this every Monday after Raw. We got a podcast that goes up every Wednesday. We got Let's Plays we do every Friday. And this week, the artist and I are playing Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety on the Sega Genesis.
Got to get them web slingers going.
It's a really funny one, probably the funniest one we've done yet. You know what I'm saying? You're going to want to keep up to date with all this. We love you. Thanks for being here with us for Raw Talks. Tell them where they can follow us on Twitter.
You can follow me at artist_616 at the Twitters.
Yeah.
You can follow this man right here at IDS616 at the Twitters.
Do you think they should?
Of course.
I think
you don't
it'd
have
be-
to be the dumbest motherfuckers out there.
Why are you so fucking rude tonight?
Fired up!
I think you're definitely fired up. I'm going to go play Mortal Kombat X, Dan Dans. We love you.
Hey, Mike, make sure everyone has brown gloves. Does everyone have brown gloves? Dude.